Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Becky. Today we are going to be sitting here eating chips. Don't you just love chips as a snack? No, I picked some of the papers out of my last purge that I wanted to use, and they were the two fabric papers and also this yellow dot. I'm trying to figure out which photos would go best with these papers. So I ended up pulling out the White House photos and then a selfie. Well, I am going to trim those down to where they're closer to the same size. I do like that blue paper too, but it's a little bit too dark, right? And it's also kind of the same pattern as what these photos are sitting on. So we're going to go ahead and trim down the White House photo to be 4x4 so that it is the same width as the selfie. So apparently today, my snack of the day is going to be tortilla chips. Sorry about that. That annoys you guys. At least I didn't leave this original sound in the background. I could leave the crunching in there if you would like. This was pretty cool though when we went to Washington D.C. Now I've been to Washington D.C. before. Jim and I went a few years back. Well, this time when I went to Washington D.C., I went to Washington, D.C. to inter him at Arlington. And guys, it was a beautiful ceremony. I mean, Jim's been gone almost 2 years, right? It was a beautiful ceremony, and he had full honors. So he had the 21 gun salute. I mean, it was just gorgeous. It was gorgeous, and they did a really good job. They really did. But we stayed a couple more days so we could enjoy. I know that doesn't sound right, but still, we stayed a couple more days so we could look around Washington, D.C. as well. Well, when I went with Jim, we didn't go in front of the White House or to the White House gates. It was kind of a little bit of a walk, and at that time, he wasn't walking very well. So we just didn't go. So this was the first time I actually got to see the White House really up close. And I didn't realize that there were so many other buildings or, at least whatever on the same compound. I didn't know. I thought it was just this house. And it is way smaller than I actually thought it would be in person. Seriously, I've heard that it's not as big as you might think, but I didn't realize it was really not as big as what I might think. It is quite small. I mean, you see bigger houses than that driving down like one of the Riverview houses, or even the houses on the beach. It's like, wow, that is kind of small. But it's not really small. I mean, it'd be way too big for me. But anyways, we'll continue. I am not sure what I want to do for my design. I went ahead and decided it's good to make at least one decision up front, right? So I went ahead and decided I was going to put these photos together as they are. So I trimmed the landscape one down to 4x4 and it's sitting above. So there's actually two White Houses in there. The one that's right above my head in the selfie photo, I feel like I can cover that up with something, and we are going to be doing that. It does take me quite a bit to decide. I do decide, though, that I am going to pull out that stamp. If you guys have watched my last purge video, we were going through all sorts of boxes, and I found this stamp. What does that say? 2107. July of 2021. That is when I got this stamp. It was in a box of stuff I've never even put away. I know, it's ridiculous, guys, and it's actually quite embarrassing. So I'm very happy to be doing this purge series because I have got issues. I don't feel like I still do, but apparently I did have issues in the past. So I'm trying to get over all of that, and we're going to do that by purging. But point is, this stamp of the month from July 2021, I've never used it. I probably have several of them because I do that, but I've never used it, so I decided we're going to go ahead and use it. Well, we have trees in the background here, right? So I thought we'd go ahead and stamp out a bunch of those trees because, I haven't used it, so I'm going to use it for the trees. I will end up pulling out a piece of white daisy cardstock, and we'll just go ahead and get to stamping. We're going to end up stamping all those trees in the sapphire color, of course, because we're using sapphire. It's very cute stamp. I haven't used it for anything else. Like I said, I do really like those keys that are on that stamp set as well. But for this instance, for this video, we are just using the trees. I'm going to go ahead and season the stamp on my arm. That just gets off in this glossy type stuff that accumulates on it, or that's on it from manufacturing. You want to not rough it up, but you want it to not look glossy. If the stamp looks glossy, that's not going to work. You're not going to get a good impression. You want to take the stamp and rub it on your leg, your arm. You can rub it on a pair of jeans. Possibly I would not advise getting lint on it though, because that could be an issue. But yes, you do not, if you're looking at the underside of the stamp that you're stamping with, you do not want it to look glossy. And it is so funny that I'm sitting here telling you this. I totally remember sitting in my craft room when my husband was still alive, so it's, more than 2 years ago. I'm thinking closer to 3 or 4 years when I first started getting into stamping, and I'm still not really 100%. I don't stamp every day, like a lot of people do, but I stamp way more than I used to. But it's funny that I'm sitting here telling you these tips now, because then I was asking you guys for tips. I was asking you guys for stamping tips, right? But still, feel free to give me more stamping tips. If you see I'm doing something that could be streamlined or whatever, go ahead and give me more stamping tips. But I just think it's really kind of cool, actually, that I can now tell you what I've learned over the past 5 years, or 7 years actually. I did look at my YouTube the other day, and I've been on YouTube since this, I think it said December 1st, maybe. December something of 2015. What? I know, I was really surprised. So you guys, if you go back and start from the beginning, it's like a soap opera. You guys know a lot about my life, because when I first started doing videos, I would talk a lot about my life and things that were going on, and things like that. And it wasn't until maybe the last 2 years, possibly last year, or maybe probably last 2 years or something, I really have gotten away from doing that, because just some comments and things like that. But now it's like, I don't know what happened to me after Jim had passed away. I've been going through this little journey the past couple years, and I don't know what has happened. But it's not that I don't care, but I don't care. You can make a bad comment if you want to. It doesn't bother me like it used to. Like, for example, even my body, my body doesn't bother me like it used to. Yesterday, it was so hot here. I was cleaning in a pair of swim shorts and a bikini top, okay? That's how I was in my house running around. I would never have done that, because heaven forbid somebody see me. I don't even care. I don't even care now. I love my body the way it is. Yes, I'm a little bit heavier than I should be, and the only reason I would want to lose weight is for health purposes. I'm not trying to be thin and hot and stuff like that, but health reasons would be the only reason I would want to lose weight at this point in time. And it's so funny. I was just thinking about this yesterday. I'm like, gosh, Becky, you sure have grown, You're 47. I can't believe it took you 47 years to grow to this person. And yeah, other people's opinions really don't bother me like they used to. And I know you see a lot of sayings and stuff everywhere, don't let other people's opinions affect you or whatever. Who cares? Ignore the haters. I don't care what people think. But the truth is, right? The truth is, I really did care what people think, and I still probably do to an extent, but yeah, it's just different now. I don't know. And again, I don't know if it's just life circumstances that have brought me here, or if it's just age. It could just be age. It's so funny, because when I went to I remember I had to do that gastro consult this week, because I'm 47 and apparently need a colonoscopy. It's so funny, because the nurse that was the scheduler, she said, "Congratulations, you're now a grown-up." And that's hilarious, because I had just said the same thing like maybe 2 days ago. I'm like, wow, you feel the same way about this as I do. Congratulations, I'm a grown. Anyway, I've been on here for a while. What the whole purpose of saying all of that, because I went down a rabbit trail, was if you watch the videos, consecutively, which I would not really advise, because all the videos are not super great, obviously. They're still not super great, and I've been doing it for 7 years, if that tells you anything, how bad that they can actually be. Yeah, but if you watch it, it's like a soap opera, a whole consecutive soap opera. You have just different things that happen, the birth of the grandkids, the death of my father, the death of Jim, BJ, when I first started scrapbooking online, he was engaged to somebody else. That didn't last, and then him and Marissa got together, and I absolutely love Marissa as my daughter. Her and BJ have split up, but it doesn't matter. She's still part of our family, and she's still my daughter as far as I see. Anyways, it's just as a big long like soap opera. You can see it's quite interesting. I do usually save my videos, and I haven't been doing that actually for since I've moved here. So I'd say for the last 6 months, I haven't been saving the videos, but I used to always save them in case something happened to YouTube. At least, my family would have these videos, right? And they can hear me talk about things. And, yeah, I used to save them all. I don't now. So hopefully nothing ever happens to YouTube. So in case any of my great grands are ever like, oh, I wonder what Granny was up to in June of 2022. Let's go to YouTube and check out her video. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I'm going to be done cutting. I'm going to be done fussy cutting on screen and go ahead and turn this off because it is way too much. You did see how I was fussy cutting those. Takes practice. Practice makes perfect. I did leave some white at the bottom because I wasn't sure if I was going to be tucking these trees or not. So when I fussy cut them, I did leave them at the bottom. Okay, so I went away and I had to go take care of stuff. This is the day after Gunner got fixed. So I left for more than a whole day. And when I came back, I did not like what was going on. I totally changed it up. I ended up just using this sapphire cardstock as kind of like the base, right? Because this floral paper right here, it is actually fabric paper. Looking at it, would have might have liked to use it in a different manner, in that I wonder if I could trim it and maybe cause some fraying or something like that would show a little interest or add a little interest to the layout, but I didn't. So I'm looking at it thinking, well, that was a lost opportunity, but it's okay. You saw when I put that fabric piece down onto the cardstock, I put it down toward the wrong direction. So the hole that is in the paper, because it came out of a paper pad, is in the 1/2 inch that I have to cut off of the cardstock. That means the last 1/2 inch of this layout, there's nothing behind it, so it's going to be kind of floppy. I figured it's fine. I'm not going to stress about that. I'm just going to leave it that way. When it's in a page protector, it'll be, absolutely fine. It's fine. This right here, I'm going to go ahead and use, I hope I trim that up. I think I do, because I can see where I hand cut out the side, so it's kind of wonky. I do trim it up because I think I'm matte, and I think I just leave like a 1/4 inch on either side of these photos. You can see here that one hand I have painted and one hand I don't. I am trying to grow my real nails out using or having acrylic nails so long they have just totally ruined them. Well, when I dropped Gunner off to get neutered, I had to drive like 2 hours to the vet, which is fine because that's where my doctor's is too. It's in Savannah. So I had to drive all the way up there. Well, I dropped him off at 7 o'clock in the morning, and my appointment wasn't until in the afternoon, and BJ and I were going to have lunch at 11. So if I drop him off at 7, well, actually it ended up being 7:30 because I was wrong about the time. So 7:30 to 11, I had time to waste. I ended up going over to CVS, and when I was in there, I picked up some nail polish. So I actually tried it out on one of my hands when I was sitting there, just sitting in the car, wasting time. So you can see one hand is painted and one hand is not. The hand that's not, what I initially went in there to get was like some kind of a strengthening something for my nails. So hopefully that worked out well. My nails still look like this right now. I still haven't taken that color off. Oh my goodness. So when I came back, I had talked about these Prima flowers in the past, and I'm like, I'm just going to bite the bullet and do something with them. So you can see I pulled them out again. Here I did find some doilies. I have a whole bunch of these light blue doilies. No idea where they came from. I don't want the light blue side though. I'm going to go ahead and flip them over and use it for the white side on the back. Now, I know I also have a ton of Cambridge doilies around here somewhere. They weren't handy. I don't know where they are. We'll find that out as we go through our little purge and organization process. But right now, I don't know where they all are. So we are using these, and they are in white. I do have like a bucket or like a box that says doilies on them, so these really need to be put up. So I am going to pull out I'm just going to go ahead and use what's left, right? So I'm going to pull out all these were stuck in that chipboard pretty good. They are quite thick chipboard pieces, I'm going to say. So when we were doing the purge before, I did have some of these liquid pearls that I needed to put up. I'm going to go ahead and I pulled out some of the white enamel, but I don't think I'm going to use that. But I also pulled out these pearls that are in kind of white. They're white. I can't remember what color they're called. I don't remember. I'm just going to daub that on the top and just rub it in with my finger. This is how we're doing this chipboard for right now. It does take me quite a bit of time to do this. First, I was sitting here seeing, can you even tell? Well, you can. It's just a very light amount. You can tell. I like it. I think this would have been really cute if I would have possibly used a different color. Perhaps maybe a yellow on the floral part of the flowers and just kept the leaves in the white pearl. But yeah, you can see how it got pearlescent on there. That's really cool. And I don't remember if you guys, maybe I can link to my last purge or do a card or something. I've never done those, but possibly I can, or I can put a link down below or something. But in my last purge, I had put up some close to my heart pearls, flat back pearls that I picked up at close to my heart in 21 that I just rediscovered. And so yeah, that kind of made me want to use these because I wanted to pull out those pearls I bought because I'd never had an opportunity to use them, and I wanted to use those on here as well. So that did kind of have something to do with me picking this color, just the pearlescent of the white, because I did want to use those other pearls. Now you might be saying, what does all of this have to do with the White House? Well, it doesn't have so much to do with the White House. I mean, obviously the White House will be mentioned in my journaling, but I'm mostly going to be talking about the second trip there and how this is the first time I saw the White House and blah 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 blah. And I'll probably talk about a bunch of different things. BJ came, Tiffany was there, Marissa was there, the grandkids were there, John and Johnny were there. I mean, we had, family was there with me, and that was pretty fun. When I went last time, it was just Gemini, so this time we had a bunch of family come with us. We're going to cut ahead just a little bit here. You get the idea. I did the pearl on these pieces. So I am just going to go ahead and... Okay, so this is the deal. I don't know if this is actually going to work, so I'm going to leave this sitting out a little bit. Right here, I'm using this tape runner to put this paper down onto the paper behind it. But the rub is this paper behind it is a fabric paper. And even the paper on top, that tail paper, is also a fabric paper. So the back of it's kind of slick, it's like, has a backing that's kind of a slick backing. So I don't know how well it is actually going to stick to this pattern paper. So in the end, this does not end up being my favorite layout, and that's a-okay because it might not even hold together. I've not... Like I said, not really used this fabric paper very often, so I'm hoping it stays together. I am gonna go see if I can pull it up, and if I can, I will put some of that art glitter glue down in there to hold it together with liquid glue. I do know that will stick. Well, I don't know for a fact, but I have a hard time believing that it wouldn't, the art glitter glue, because it's amazing. All right, so we are going to go ahead and put this floral piece right here. And you see where I put the doily underneath it. I just did that for a base to my little cluster area. It's not going to be a big cluster. I just got this little flower here. We will put like one or two more pieces down there. I'm only adding adhesive on to the part that I believe is going to be over that teal colored fabric paper. I'm not putting it down over the part that's going to be on the doily, or at least not over much of the part that's going to be on the doily. So we have this cute little accent piece. We have this other very large piece up here. These are different kind of flowers. So, I mean, hopefully they work together because they are the same, made out of the same material and also have the same gloss on them. So hopefully it'll work out in my favor on here. Like I said, this is not going to be my favorite layout, but that's okay. It's okay. I'm trying to get these just situated right where I want them. I am going to use this one. I'm just putting a little adhesive in the center. I'm going to lay that die cut back on top of it, so you don't have to worry about seeing all that. That is where my title is going to sit. Go ahead and commit to the placement of this one. Super cute. And then also these other two little leaves. So that's all of that pack that I got. So would I purchase these? Would I just go out to the store and purchase these? No, because the finish that I put on them, while yes, it's pretty, or you know, it looks okay, it doesn't really wow me, and I'm sure there's something else I could do to these chipboard pieces. I just don't know what that is. As of yet, I need to do a little research, I guess. So yeah, I would never go out and buy these chipboard pieces. But they came in a Hip Kit Club kit, so yes, I did use them. Okay, so I was like, well, since I did stamp these trees, I'm trying to add some of them. Which, actually, when I tucked it in back behind there, you couldn't really even tell it was a tree. It looked like it could be part of a flower. So I guess we have some more die cuts to add to our spiral, because I don't end up using any of those. This right here is going to serve as my title. It says My Crazy Beautiful Life, and it is insane. Also, very beautiful now that I'm a grown-up. So I tried to White House. So I tried to go ahead and layer these together. That doesn't really work out so good. So I will move that house down to the bottom right about here. We'll put a little bit of foam tape under the right side of that house so that it sits up. Now, I did find these. These I used on a previous layout that I was used with the Hope and Kindness collection. It is so cute. If I remember, I will put a photo in of it. It is such a cute layout. I cut these out with a flower and leaf die from Close to My Heart. So cute. But I had two left over, so because I have those flowers going down the edges that have this yellow dots in the center, they're yellowish, orangish dots. I am going to go ahead and use these two leaf pieces that I had left over. So I am so happy about that. These, I think, are so cute. I actually, when we had that glossy cardstock, I bought like all the colors. And yes, this is cut out of that glossy cardstock. It is so nice. Now, when I pulled those out of this little jar, I remembered that I had these other khaki colored embellishments that were from Close to My Heart. Actually, they are also from the Hope and Kindness collection. And so I thought, well, maybe I can use some of those, and I could put some of the the white pearl on it. I don't think I end up using any of them, though. I go through here and pull out a bunch of hearts. See that? I mean, they're cute. They're cute. They could have added a little something, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass on those. Now, I do notice that house is crooked, but it's okay. It's not down yet. Huh, how about that? But when I do put it down, it is crooked. I know this because I just straightened it this morning. I know. So I'm just kind of putting this down by the very bottom stem, and I will go back because some of those leaves are bent kind of up. You can especially tell up in that other cluster. I'll go back and put a little bit of adhesive under some of the actual leaves because they're just sticking up way too far. So we go ahead and commit to this house, and this is where I said this is crooked. I will straighten it up though. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We're going to go ahead and commit to this one, and we're going to put the title over just a little bit so that it covers up the stem of these leaves. I don't know why, but I do not love it when the stem just abruptly ends. I don't like that at all. I always like to tuck it or have something over it. I just don't like the abrupt ending of a stem. I just don't think you'll see that on one of my layouts, and if you do, it's because I made a mistake. So here's what I was talking about. Some of those leaves were just sticking up way too tall. So we did have to add a little bit of liquid adhesive on there. All right, after we do that, guys, I think right now I'm pulling out my little bits and bobs container. No, enamel dots, sequins, things like that. I think I am going to be, well, not think, I know I'm going to be pulling out the pearls, but that must have been where I stepped away to. It is, because here's my pearls. So I'm going to use several of these flat back pearls. I love these. This is the first time I purchased them from close to my heart. They are very dimensional, but I think I'm going to like them a lot. I'm going to have to see what they look like in the sheet protector. But they're so pretty. Look at those. Do you think they look okay with the pearlescent that is on those chipboard leaves? You can't really tell, right? You can't, the way that this page is sitting under the lights right here, you can't really tell that those are super pearlescent. Maybe in the close-ups you can. I don't know. All right, guys, we only have about a minute left of this video. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Please hop over to Kathy's channel to check out our purge videos. I do have Kathy linked down below, but this layout is the remnants of what I found in a purge. So it kind of ties into the purge a little bit. Also, please check the links down below. If you'd like to support my channel, hop over to one of my affiliate links. I am recommending BeckyBating.closetomyheart.com, mostly because I haven't figured out the Amazon one just yet. I was approved and everything, but I haven't figured it out. Because, hello, I'm special. Stop it. I don't have time. Apparently, you know what I like to do? The creative part. The whole business part, not my favorite. I just want to make stuff. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.